Hey guys, so Harry Potter comes out tomorrow and I'm kind of excited. And the parentals and I are going to have a little Harry Potter party thing, even though it's going to be like 4 of us. We're gonna be making a few things, and one of them is going to be Butterbeer. Yeah. I found this recipe on HarryPotterRecipes.net, so yeah, and I also posted the recipe on my blog, which I'll post the link in the description. So I thought I'd kind of show you guys how to make it. I may or may not post this, but yeah, anyway, I'm gonna be making like a double batch. So I'm going to be, the recipe will be a little different from what I post, but, or whatever, I'll just tell you the original. You're going to want 1 cup of light or dark brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of water, 6 tablespoons of butter, a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of cider vinegar, 3/4 cup heavy cream divided, half a teaspoon rum extract, and 4 12-ounce bottles of cream soda. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing a double batch, so I'm gonna be using twice as much as it says here, but only thing I'm short on is the soda, but I think that'll be okay. I'm only like 10 ounces short, which I might just use Coke, a little Coke for the extra, but yeah, anyway. So yeah, anyway, the first thing that we're going to do is, in a small saucepan over medium heat, combine the brown sugar and water, bring to a gentle boil and cook, stirring often until the mixture reaches 240 degrees Fahrenheit on a candy thermometer. And then after that, we're going to stir in the butter, salt, vinegar, and 1/4 the heavy cream. And then you're going to set it aside to cool to room temperature. Now while I do that, I will turn you guys off and I will be back shortly. The only thing about this recipe is that it takes about an hour in total, I think. I'd posted another version of Butterbeer as well, which only should take about 8 minutes, and I'll post that in the underbar as well. So yeah, anyway, this doesn't look too lovely, but I don't think it's supposed to at this point. Right now I'm using light brown sugar, so that's about what it looks like. And I've had it on for about 3 or 4 minutes now, and it's already starting to get really hot, but yeah, anyway, there we go. So yeah, you're gonna wanna, and it gets kind of liquidy at this point. I'm not much of a cook, so, but I do know that if you don't stir sugary related stuff a lot, it'll burn, because I think I did something one time where the sugar burned when I was doing something similar to this. I was not a happy camper, so that's why I don't cook all that often, because I kind of suck at it. But yeah, anyway, I will be back shortly. So at this point, with everything mixed together, with the exception of the rum extract, this is basically what it looks like. I'm gonna let it cool to room temperature at this point, so, and then when it gets cool to room temperature, I am going to add the rum extract. So I will see you again shortly when it is cooled. Another recipe that I wanted to do is the cockroach clusters. Again, I found this on HarryPotterRecipes.net, and I will put the link to the recipe in the underbar as well. So yeah, with this specific one that I'm doing, all you need is dark chocolate and dry chow mein noodles. I totally didn't drop that. But yeah, anyway, you can use any type of dark chocolate you want. I'm using Ghirardelli. I know you're supposed to use dark chocolate, but I'm using milk chocolate. And dry chow mein noodles, all you need for this one. HarryPotterRecipes.net has several different, 2 or 3 different versions. But all you basically have to do for this is melt chocolate the way you preferably prefer to melt the chocolate until it's smooth, and then stir in the noodles until the mixture is thick enough to hold it together. And then you're gonna spoon bite-sized clusters onto wax paper and let it harden in the fridge. And if you want longer lasting candy, you can just mix in a little bit of Paffrin. If you want longer lasting candy, melt 1 stick cooking Paffrin per 12 ounce of chocolate before adding the noodles. And you can freeze them and thaw them before serving. So yeah, anyway, I am going to melt my chips in the microwave because I'm kind of challenged at melting them on the stove. So I'll be back. Oh, and if you aren't sure how to melt chocolate, on some packages there'll be directions on how to do it. So go according to the directions on the package if there is such a thing on the package. So I'm gonna go melt these and I will be back. Not exactly turning out as planned.
This recipe does not work like it's supposed to.
What happened?
You won't coat the noodles, they just won't mix together right.
Maybe it has to cool down for it to work right.
No, it's not doing right. It's like the chocolate isn't a good quality, I think, is the problem.
You talking about the where you mix the noodles with the chocolate?
Yeah.
Because I saw that same recipe in like 6 different places.
I think it's the chocolate.
Yeah.
But how is Ghirardelli not a good chocolate?
Yeah, good question.
Wow.
I bet if it was like Toll House or like Hershey's, it'd be a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they'll taste good anyway.
They don't look like cockroaches, unless the recipe's faulty.
Yeah, they may have not. Those recipes are kind of funky. They maybe missed a step or something.
Yeah, I think
Or an
so.
ingredient.
So, either we failed or the recipe's faulty. Either way. It'll taste good, I'm sure. We're making Harry Potter cupcakes too, but making cupcakes, I don't think it requires much explanation. Unless you prefer to do cupcakes by scratch, then I'm not much help. But I just grab a box of cake batter and do it that way, and gonna bake it. You'll see the end results later. And the dog likes butterbeer.
He loves it.
But yeah, to finish it up, we just basically, me/mom basically just whipped up the cream that we had.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like a cup of heavy cream, and we like whipped it.
Mm-hmm.
and put it for a couple minutes, and we just stuck it on top of it. So.
Oh, it's got heavy cream in it.
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder.
Yeah, and it says to serve, divide the brown sugar mixture between 4 tall glasses.
Yeah.
About a 1/4 cup for each glass. Add a 1/4 cup of cream soda to each glass. Then stir. And then fill each glass nearly to the top with additional cream soda. Then spoon the whipped topping over each. Which the whipped topping ended up just kind of sinking to the bottom, at least in mine. Now what?
It's a Firebird. Forks. Chicken Firebird.
Sheriff, because it's intended for yours as well as the others.
You
Our
don't like
$20,000
cupcakes?
has been stolen from the bank.
He's licking
The
it.
sheriff here is suspicious of us.
You're eating that one.
Suspicious
I don't mind eating after my dog.
The proof is quite another. The loss
You
of
do
the
better than I do.
prove him guilty.
Here's mine.
The sheriff doesn't find what he's looking for. He and his men are going to get on their horses and ride back to town.
So, the last Harry Potter themed snack thing we're gonna make are called pumpkin pasties, or at least that's what my mom's calling them. But a can of the pumpkin, a can of pumpkin, like a 15-ounce can, half a cup of Splenda, half a teaspoon of salt, one teaspoon of cinnamon, a half a teaspoon of ginger, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, a half a teaspoon of allspice, and a half a cup of milk. And then a couple of packs of sugar cookies, unless you want to make some sugar cookies from scratch, then you can do that too. The first thing you're gonna do is mix together the pumpkin with all the spices and milk together. Don't touch the cookies yet. And then put them, and then you're gonna mix those together. Spray the bottom of a pan with, I just use some Pam, but you can use whatever you want. Preheat the oven to 400 degrees and just stick it in the pan. And when it's done, which it just beeped, you're gonna put it in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes. And when that's done, and while you're waiting for that to get done, you're gonna slice the cookies up. And before I forgot to say this, you're gonna put the pumpkin mix in at 400 degrees for 15 minutes, and then you're gonna lower the heat to 350 degrees and leave it in for 35 minutes. And also, I'll be putting the link to this recipe in the underbar, so if you want to print it out so you don't have to write out the whole thing, then the link will be in the underbar. So while we're waiting for the pumpkin mix to get done, we're going to cut up some cookie-sized pieces. If I can get the package open, since I'm like challenged at opening these things. I'm just going to slice up one roll since I bought 2. I'm gonna cut up a few cookie-sized pieces while I'm waiting for that to get done. And I'm just gonna go ahead and just put them on the pan, since we'll have to put them on the pan later anyway. And if you notice, I'm flattening them out a little bit. This is because we're going to have to put a little bit of the pumpkin mix in the middle of the cookie and then fold the cookie over. So we're gonna need enough of the cookie to cover that and it doesn't ooze out and whatnot. After the pumpkin gets done baking, you are going to put the pumpkin in the center of all of the cookies. once you get the pumpkin and all the cookie put down, you are going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees for basically whatever the cookie instructions say, because the recipe that I found didn't exactly specify, because it just said bake it. So I'm going to put these in at 350 degrees, and since it's basically 2 packs, 1 pack is 10 to 12 minutes, I'm going to put it in for about 15 to 20 minutes. I'm going to start off with 15 minutes and see how that goes.
What?
Huh? They didn't exactly turn out as I had hoped, but...
They're big. Wow.
Well, I had used both. I had used like 1 tube for the bottom and then the other tube to put over, and then kind of just, yeah. They look good though.
Yeah. I think they're fine.
What do you think?
I can't wait to taste one.
Oh, I know, they look good.